Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz from gpanswers.com, and today I'm going to show you how to deploy MSIs using group policy. This is a fun technique if you want to just get a file out there jammed onto the desktop for the user. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new GPO here, and I'm going to link it over to eSales users, and I'm going to deploy TS client. I have a very old terminal services client. I can't type client today, but that's okay. So I'll go ahead and click Edit here. Now actually, what's interesting about deploying files, MSI files, using group policy is that it exists on both the user and computer side of the fences here. Now I'm deploying to my users, which is totally fine. So I'll go to my user side here and go to New, Package, and I'm going to be deploying from the network, so that's whack DC, and I've got a share called Share, and I happen to have what I'm looking for here, right there, under Terminal Services Client, right there. So there's an MSI file. And that's the first key point, is that in order to deploy anything using group policy, it really must be packaged in the MSI format. There are some rudimentary ways to deploy things that aren't MSI files, but honestly, in my humble opinion, it's not really worth it. So you have to get to the promised land of MSI before you start using group policy software deployment to do this. So you've got published, assigned, or advanced. Let's go to advanced, because I always want to make sure that a couple of buttons are selected. So for instance, assigned is what I'm really after, because that puts the icons on the user's desktop, and basic prevents them from seeing too much stuff. So let's go ahead and click OK here. So I've gone ahead and I've deployed that software right there. And let's go over here to my Windows 7 machine, and I'll run GP Update. And well, you might expect that as soon as I run GP Update that somehow magically I'll get that software to show up, and that would probably be a pretty good bet, but unfortunately that's not what happens. Now the thing is about software deployment is that it won't run while the user is already logged on, which is kind of a downside, but that's just the breaks. Now there's so if I were to log off here, okay, log off here, and actually log on as the user, which actually I'm not logged on as, so I'll log on as that guy, East Sales User 1 here. Okay, only at logon time, that's when the magic happens. That's when you'll see new software install for the user. You won't see it if the user is already logged on, as I just described. So after the screen is done painting, you'll see the Start menu, and on the Start menu, you should see your application's icons there ready to be used for the very first time. So let's go ahead and wait for that to happen here. Okay, cool. So that's all done. Let's go to the Start menu, Programs, and there it is, the Terminal Services Client. It's just that simple. It just happens to be the application I happen to have here for my use. So long story short, it's installing from the network. Takes only a couple seconds, and we're good to go. So with that in mind, that's the end of my little demo here. So deploying MSIs doesn't have to be hard or complex, but you do have to get to the MSI promised land first if you don't already have your packages in MSI format. Okay. So again, this is Jeremy Moskowitz from gpanswers.com. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll talk to you soon.